let's talk about how to do a roll, also called a turn. It will help if you watch the video on flicks first, because a flick is half of a roll. So, assuming you know how to do a flick, it's easiest to begin rolls using a first finger note, such as a B on the A string. And what you're going to do is you're going to flick first, and then you're going to quickly pick up your finger and put it back down. That's kind of slow motion. Up to speed. Sometimes this is getting detailed right off the bat. Sometimes the roll is spread out over the course of the entire note that's being ornamented. And that's usually how, usually how they're being used is they're breaking up a long note with this ornamentation. And so the roll on a note takes the place of that note in the music. Often it would be like a quarter note in a reel, or a dotted quarter note in a jig. And sometimes the roll, like I said, is kind of broken up over the course of the whole note, and sometimes it comes right at the beginning or right at the end. And so very commonly it will come at the end. So you'll play most of the B, and then you'll play a roll at the end. That would be in the Old Favorite jig, a common tune. So if I played it unornamented, we would have a dotted quarter note B. Instead we have, probably the quarter note's worth, just plain, and then the roll shoved all into the dot. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But if we want, we can also spread the roll out over the entire length of the note more evenly. I don't tend to do that in this tune, so it's kind of tricky. I would say that's more frequently used on shorter notes. We could also put all of the roll at the beginning of the note and then hang on to it. Hang on to the note for the rest of the length. Again, probably wouldn't use that in that spot in that tune, but it is another place that, another way that rolls get used. So to go back to what we were working on, first finger, tap, I use my third finger, and then open note, back to the first finger note. It's all going to happen on a bow, a single bow, down bow or up bow. It's good to practice both. And like I was saying in the flick video, I do tend to pulse my bow a little bit along with the roll. So I'm pushing a little harder or moving my bow a little faster. To increase my volume. The principle is the same no matter what finger you're using. A second finger roll, we'll do C sharp. You can do them C natural as well, but let's do C sharp. Flick. And then you could use the open string. I guess I never do. I usually use my first finger. So 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Or up to speed. Third finger is the trickiest because you have to use your fourth finger. Whoop, missed. Missed again. I said it was tricky. And like I said in the flick video, if you miss, it doesn't matter a whole lot. You can still get maybe one of the other parts of the roll, and you're still pulsing with your bow, so it gets kind of a stronger sound and helps you emphasize that note that you're trying to emphasize with the roll. So you can kind of, oh, I guess I should also show you my fake roll, which is for the open string. For the open string, you obviously can get plenty of notes above, but you can't get a note below without doing all kinds of acrobatics with your bow. And I'm a lazy fiddle player. I don't like to do bow acrobatics if I don't have to. So I do kind of a fake roll to get the same sound. And what I'm doing is I'm playing the A, and then I'm not even really quite properly playing B. I'm kind of half pressing it down and then flicking on it and then letting it go. And that ends up giving the same sort of division of sound that you would get from a roll. And sometimes I really want that effect on an open string in a particular tune. So you can practice these in a scale. Or you can just pick a tune and try to put one in at a time. I would recommend starting with the first finger rolls. They're the easiest for most people because you don't have to get another finger down below. You can just use the open string as your lower note. A good one, the Old Favorite is a good one to practice in. If you want, there's a third finger opportunity here. There. In the B part, you have a second finger, first finger, and there's the open string. Third finger. So that's a particularly good tune for practicing rolls because you have all the finger opportunities. But for some people, it's much easier to practice them in a scale first rather than trying to put them in a tune. So do whatever feels best to you. They usually place them wherever there might be a long note, depending on if I hear one there and want to put one there. Often on beats that I want to accent as well, as a way of highlighting that note. So that's rolls.